Take one. Today is the Kaf Tet of Tishrey, Monday. Bezat Hashem, Tav Shin Pei Gimel. Now, the first mitzvah going to be of the day discussed, mitzvah number 49. It's talking about Dinei Knasot, Chovel B'Chavero, somebody who damages his friend, and there's going to be specifically discussing the amounts of Knasot, the penalty charges from the Torah. And mitzvah number 50 is to kill, Beit Din is obligated to kill a person who's chayav with chopping off his head. It's called Saif. All right. So today's mitzvot are sponsored Nishmat Yecheskel Natanel Ben Harav Abishai Halevi Shlita and the Refuah Shlema Yekol Israel B'Charam Lechaya Barlea. If you want to sponsor, you could reach out. Shenitztavinu, so we have like this. Mitzvah 49. Shenitztavinu Bedin Chovel B'Chavero Le'onsho. We are obligated that a person who is hurting his friend that will cause damage, and we are obligated. The Beit Din is obligated to make him pay. Moshe Katuv b'Torah, as it says in the Torah, Parshat Shmot, 21st chapter, 18 pasuk. V'chi yeribun anashim. It says over there when men are in the battle between each other. V'zen ikra dinei knasot. And over there it specifically discusses where there is a specific amount set for a penalty. ובפסוק אחר כולל משפטי הכנסות כולם. Have other psukim that have the laws of כנסות in its entirety. Okay? משפטי הכנסות כולם. Okay. והוא שכתוב ויקרא, it says over there in ויקרא, כ"ד, the 24th chapter ויקרא, 19th פסוק, כאשר עשה כן יעשה לו, as yesterday Shoham asked, what about what are the Torah being over there? That you should do the same thing to the other person as he did to you. And he said, Baruch Hashem, he's not here, maybe he'll get the recording. So over here, today was a discussion. I told him, Baruch Hashem, next day, here we are. So it says over there that you should do to the person what he did to the other person. So what does that mean? So he asked an eye for an eye. Obviously, this doesn't mean you take off an eye because there's no gain, right? Everybody understands, and it's foolish by the Goyim. They really don't understand what Torah means. And nowhere in the world will Hashem say, if somebody poked out an eye of his friend, so you go poke the eye of the other guy. It doesn't mean that at all, because there's no benefit to anybody. On one side, we said, when the person commits murder, right? Yesterday we said, if a billionaire kills somebody, he can't say to the family, here's $10 million and don't kill me. What's the benefit of you killing me? He's not allowed to do that. He's no kofer with money. You cannot pay off if he has to be killed, he has to be killed. However, over here, we say opposite. Over here, if somebody poke out an eye of his friend, we don't say, let's poke out the eye out of this guy. No, other Rabbi, we make him pay for the damage. So whatever his eye is worth, that's what a value, as you go to an actuary, and he'll tell you what everything is worth. Today we have such a business. They have such individuals that know how to evaluate what is a person's worth. That's how they sell life insurance and all these things. Okay. So we understand that over there it's not talking about really technically speaking go ahead and inflict the same pain to another person who inflicted pain on his friend. We're talking about specifically taking the monetary value of the damages that he has transgressed. Okay, so we already explained, as we already have received from the Torah previously. And we're not talking about specifically even poked out his eye or did something that caused the damage or bleeding or whatever, that he harmed the person, that he has to go to a doctor. We're not even talking about that specifically only. We're also saying if he causes them a suffering, embarrassment, which also has a value. It's and the rabbis will know how to evaluate the embarrassment. When we are, Baruch Hashem, gentlemen, as we learned yesterday, Tikkun Chatzot is not for Kabbalistim, as many as the Eitz Hara make you believe. Shulchan Aruch Befirush says every person has to wake up and do Tikkun Chatzot. B'ezrat Hashem, here we are at 5 o'clock in the morning already, the Chevre B'tzibur trying to do Tikkun Chatzot. It's halacha le'maaseh, it's not for Kabbalistim. And one of the reasons why we do that is because we're in Tsar and Galut. Here we are in Galut, we have no knowledge of anything. If somebody tells you this Beit Din knows everything, they don't know nothing, not even close. Only a Beit Din that is masmach, that we will see the halakha over here, is going to say, no Beit Din has a right today to charge a penalty what the Torah enumerates. The Torah told us knas, no Beit Din has a right, only in Eretz Israel, and only smuchim, and only people who were mamash from Moshe to Yoshua, from Yoshua to Zkenim, from Zkenim and Allah, and all the time. This is called smicha, the real smicha, where the Chacham passed over this right for a dayan to charge knasot. Today we don't have that, and don't be fooled by anybody. And Bezrat Hashem, and that's what we have to daven. We do tikkun chatzot for that purpose. Hashem b'meira will return us back to our senses and give us back the wisdom how to do all these things properly according to the Torah. Shoresh b'mitzvah zu. What is the foundation of the Bechlal? Kol ma she'haba b'Torah be'inyan adin. It says over here, the Chacham, the Chinuch is telling us, really, listen, I tell you many times I'll describe to you the foundation of a mitzvah. Really, in reality, we're not supposed to be doing such a thing. It's not the main understanding. The Torah has no foundation for anything. It doesn't have to have a foundation. The only foundation you should know is one thing. The foundation that Hashem said it. Hashem said that this is what you're supposed to do. This is what Hashem wants you to do. And you don't have to have a real understanding why the purpose. However, the Chinuch will sometimes give us like a little mamtak, make it a little bit sweet for us, for logically to understand. Here the Rabbi says, I don't even have to give you any logical sense to understand for the purpose of the mitzvah. Everybody understands why we have this. If there is no judgment in this world, this is what's happening today, mostly in the world. There is no more judgment. It's becoming Sodom v'Amorah. We think it's just a little story in the Torah. No, chas v'shalom. The people have to, if you have fear of courts, not this the liberals, the corrupting everything, as they say. Somebody asked me, the Torah is what you think for a second. If you think for a second, the liberal mindset today is exactly Hashem. This is how Hashem thinks. If you learn in Balei Musar, HaKadosh Baruch Hu does make a cheshbon. When He judges, what do we say? What we just went over Slichot. What do we say? We say, Nipalana Hashem b'yad Hashem, right? We should fall in Hashem's hands, and right? And we should not. Some people are going to say, no, really doesn't mean maybe Beit Din Shel Mata. No, you live in Beit Din Shel Mala. In Beit Din Shel Mala, they will be judging you. Who will be judging us? This generation will be judged by Rabbi Yosef, will be judged by Rabbi Yashiv. All the Dolei Ador of this generation will be judging us when we come to Shamayim. So what we daven, we say, please Hashem, do us a favor. Make sure you judge us and not Rabbi Yosef. Make sure you judge us and not Rabbi Yashiv. Because why? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu is what these liberals are actually doing. They're judging people. What they're saying? Well, let's see. Why did this guy made a sin? Why did he commit this crime? Because really he grew up in a bad situation. He grew up in a bad atmosphere. This is liberals. And as Chas v'Shalom, the Torah is not allowing us. Humans are not allowed to judge that way. We're not allowed to judge a person, he did tshuva. The liberals in courts, they go to the judge and they say, have mercy on this man. He repented. He did tshuva. He became a baptized. He was baptized. He became a Popeye in jail. He became a Popeye. So have mercy on him, right? This is how Hashem judges. That's not the way humans are supposed to judge. Humans, you're supposed to have a rod on your hand. The guy committed a crime. There is no way around it. There is no way around. Why? Because if you spread around, if you start judging the way Hashem judges in this world, first of all, you don't know nothing. They're just saying generally, this guy is from the hood. He's from the hood, and in that hood neighborhood, nobody cared, so obviously he doesn't care. That's not the way. Hashem knows really what's inside a person's heart. Hashem knows really what he grew up with. Not like this liberals, just making everybody blanket. Everybody's from the hood, so therefore they had a bad life. Doesn't work like that. Chas v'shalom. And why? The Rabbi says, if you're going to judge like this the whole world, we will never have peace. We will never have peaceful settlements. It will not be a yeshuv. There will never be a medina. There will be never a country, Chas v'shalom, to be judging like this. So therefore, we need clarity of mind to have proper judgment, and we have to in America they used to call criminal justice, right? Bringing the criminals to justice. Today, it's not no more bringing criminals to justice. It's justifying the criminals' actions. Unfortunately, Hashem Rachamim aleinu. We should daven. It's all because of us. We're not davening to Hashem. We're not learning enough Hashem's Torah. We're not spreading Hashem's Torah. Our Torah is not only for us. It's for the goyim to know that what the Torah stands for. And when you see a goy wants to violate humanity, basic humanity, you have an obligation. You, Agudat Israel, have an obligation to the whole world to stop the goyim from acting frivolously. It's you collect money. You're there to represent Judaism. And that's what you're supposed to do. Not take money and we only fight battles that we can win. Chas v'shalom. That's not a point of Jewish organizations. The point of Jewish organization is to spread the Torah and let the goyim know when they're misbehaving, and they are misbehaving when right now they're spreading around that you cannot go take to jail people who are stealing under $950. Chas v'shalom. All this is frivolosity. This mitzvah of punishment, the judgment, the court has to go and inflict this punishment. We are obligated to judge a person who goes and does a physical damage to a person. The mitzvah is the only males are allowed to judge. Here you have clearly males are allowed to judge. No female is allowed to judge. Unfortunately today, in London already, they decided they're going to have Orthodox rabbis that will answer questions, halachic questions, and they will be ordained as the rabbis. Orthodox women are becoming judges in London. In Eretz Israel, they're also promoting it, that in Beit Din, the Beit Din Rabbanut, there should be women, Orthodox women, that will be judged. That's right. It's already started. This is where you have, it's called bribery. Somebody told me yesterday, a beautiful thing. I heard a shiur from a Chacham in Eretz Israel. It's called bribery. Why do you think all the Rabbonim are becoming weaker and weaker in Orthodoxy? Why are they becoming more weaker in Orthodoxy? Because they're being flushed with Christian money and not kosher money. All those institutions, yeshivas, universities, all those rabbanuts, all those places are being supported by non-kosher money, and it's automatically, like it or not, all of a sudden now Orthodox women are allowed to be judges in courts. Shalom. Women are not allowed to judge any time, ever, to be judges over the nation. However, a woman, if Chas v'Shalom she does an embarrassing to another person, she has to pay. If women are in Chas v'Shalom, they're acting frivolously, they're causing embarrassment to other people, or they're being embarrassed, of course, they have to be compensated. Or if Chas v'Shalom, they're embarrassing people, they should compensate. Later on in Parshat and Sefer HaChiuch, we will discuss what happens when the person causes real actual damage, how much will be paid, how to evaluate, will be discussed then. Mitzvah Nun, Mitzvah 50, Mitzvah Beit Din la'arog b'sayev ha'mechuyav. So the Beit Din has an obligation to kill a person with chopping off his head, a person who is obligated with that sin, who has committed certain crime. We'll see what a crime is. It looks like only one crime that will obligate sayev. What is that crime? Okay, even though it's a big machloket. Just to let you know, in the Gemara, here the Chinuch took the route, it looks like a Rambam, that in Machloket, what is the easiest death? Yesterday we discussed it a little bit, but so the question is, which is easier, strangling, chenek, or sayev? So apparently, if we forgot to cover yesterday a little point, very important point we forgot to mention yesterday. When they strangle the guy, right, with the ropes, with the edim, when they try to strangle the guy, they actually make him drunk. They make him like a special potion. They give him a potion that makes him doesn't feel anything. So, no, with the potion when they want to choke him.
So strangulation.
Strangulation. Chenek, yeah. They give him special potion. So that's the machloket. The machloket in the Gemara and what? So that's the question right now. So he's gonna mention that the argument in the Gemara. I told you yesterday there was a question because I was under the impression always the chopping off the head is the easiest, right? Why is it easiest? The guy puts it on his head, comes down.
If they don't miss.
Well, he's dead right in a second. There's no such a thing as miss. The chop him is dead, right? But the problem is chenek. So, the Rambam looks like in chinuch is the opinion that choking a person is easier. That's easy as death. And it looks like over there, he told me, I was learning with my Chaim last night on the phone, it looks like over there because they actually give him a special potion that he doesn't feel anything. Meaning his body is numb. So they choke him out, they take out his privileges to breathe, right, by pulling up ropes from the two sides, and therefore until the neshama comes out. Okay, so that's the machloket, but let's see. There is certain averot that the person is going to be obligated that his head be chopped off. And this is, as I told sages call, that there is an obligation on Beit Din to kill. And this, Rabbi says, is the lightest of all the deaths. The Rabbi says, as I explained to you, the choking is going to be much easier with it. Again, so let's say, if you learn, like the way that they give him a special potion that he doesn't feel anything, so obviously it's going to be easier, not just for people who are performing. Remember, who has to chop off his head? Who's going to pull the liver? Sounds like the witnesses. The witnesses.
Oh, the witnesses?
The witnesses. Now what happens when they pull over the liver? Chopping off the head. You know what happens? You should never know. But unfortunately, we were exposed to this garbage ISIS when they were killing people with the chopping of their heads. You know what happens there? The blood splatters all over. It's a gruesome act. Even though, if you ask any person who was about to die, ask him which way he wants to die, maybe people will choose, what's his name? For the respect of their families, they'll choose chenek. They'll choose the regulation because they want to, they don't feel anything anyway, right? They give him a special potion that he doesn't feel anything, so they strangle him, and then, they put him, they bury him and finished. But over here, chopping off the head is very harsh punishment. Sounds like it. Chopping off the blood splits, then then Masaski have to come and collect every little piece, drip, and how to bury it. It's a disrespect for the body. However, the Torah still obligates it. You can't say disrespect, let's not do it. Who is the person who's going to deserve it? Well, what's going on here? So he says, "Ve'echad min ha'momatim b'mita zu, hamakeh avdo afilu k'nani." If a Jew kills his servant, Jew servant or a Evet Knani, a Goy servant, you have a servant in your house and you killed him on purpose. That you were told not to kill him. You killed him. Let's say the guy was very upset, made you very angry. The Gemara discusses such cases where a servant would actually cause damage to their masters. What would they do? They would go to other people's fields and burn them. Reprimand him, or to his master. He starts burning all his fields. Right? Remember, the guy worked so hard. He has all the field, and this guy burns everything. So the guy now is so angry with him, he wants to kill him, and he goes and kills him. If you give him a warning, you tell him you're not allowed to kill your servant, and he still kills him. The punishment is what? Sa'ib. We're going to chop off your head, and over there is no mercy. This guy has to be chopped off his head. And the servant died under his hand. As it says in the Pasuk, Shmot, 21st chapter, Nakom minakem, the Torah tells us, take revenge on this master. Uba pirush yareg makeo b'sayif. Over there, the Torah tells us, Nakom minakem. What is Nakom minakem? Take revenge. Sounds like a vengeance. Sounds like what? In order to take vengeance, you have to be what? You have to be achzar. You have to be a vicious person. And that's why maybe Saif is befitting this person. That you do a vicious act on him, chop off his head, which is vicious, ruthless, right? It's like you have to be such an individual. So the Torah because the Torah uses the language nakom yinakem. What is one of the prohibitions? One of the biggest prohibitions of the Torah, not to take revenge. Why are you not allowed to take revenge?
Hashem does revenge.
No, why are you not allowed to take revenge on people? What?
Accepting Hashem's will.
Nakama. Why not? Why are we going on to nakama? Lama. Why?
You don't have a
what? No, because what Moshe is saying. Rabbi Moshe is saying beautiful. It's going to make you aghzar. It's going to make you a vicious person. Why we said, like we said in the morning, why are you not allowed to? Kohanim were not allowed to walk in the Beit HaMikdash with their exposing, with their pants and making large steps. They shouldn't expose their private to the stones. What is going to make them? That will make them not tzanua. Will make them to have bad thoughts. That a person who's not tzanua in privacy, even in your own house, you have to be very private. You have to be tzanua, wear always pajama. You have to be closed at all times. Mazeh. If you're exposed, and then you go outside, and then you ask the rabbi, how come I have evil thoughts? How can I have a tumah thoughts? Of course you're gonna have, because you're exposing yourself to that. You're not private. So too over here, the Torah tells, take vengeance on this person. Why nekama is not allowed for a Jew? Because we don't want you to be achzar. But why on this person? This person was achzar. You call your own servant. You killed your servant. Mazeh. It's a human being. You think bekalut? Yeah, if he said yesterday, if he wants to kill a regular person who's not a servant, he gets choked. Over here, if he commits a crime of achzariyut, why? Because the servant is under his hand. The servant is subservient. He doesn't reply back. He's going to be afraid. He was waiting. Maybe the master will come down, right? And the servant lets his guard down, and this achzar kills his servant. So the Torah tells him, "Nakomi nakem, take a revenge on this person. You take the law of achzariyut, and you're allowed to use on this achzar. You're allowed to the viciousness of revenge. That's why Torah tells us we're not allowed to take revenge. Why? Not to become vicious people. Somebody did something to you, do not take revenge. Chas v'shalom to become a vicious person. כבר כתבתי למעלה שהרמב"ם, so explains over here the machloket between Rambam and Ramban. Ramban does not count all 4 mitzvot, the way of mitzvot, as the mitzvot as the Rambam does. Rambam says each mitzvah, skila is a mitzvah, chenek is a mitzvah, srifa is a mitzvah, chenek is a mitzvah. Ramban says no. That's not in part of the mitzvah. Okay, mitzvah, meshorish mitzvah zot. Again, the whole thing over here, Kadosh Baruch Hu wanted to take out this whole concept of achzariyut from us and what? Punish a person in order to make a peace in the world. You must have peace. You must, in America, listen to anybody listens, you must return the capital punishment. You must return the capital, you must kill murderers, you must kill them without a question, without a doubt. That is the only way we're going to have prosperity in the world. Dinei mitzvah. We're talking about bagloim. If a guy steals a toothpick, this is the Parshat Noach, we're learning about it. If a guy steals a tissue, came in and stole a tissue, not that he asked for it, whatever, he just wants to steal. You kill the guy without any question. You take him to Beit Din, and the court has to put on him capital punishment, death. Not wait like this smart genius dissenters. A goy never trusts a politician goy. The sentence says, this criminal deserves death penalty. Just this criminal, because his crime was so vicious. A goy steals anything. A piece of paper from you, or from somebody, a clip. If he steals a paper clip, in his mind is to steal, you kill him without a questions asking. That's one of the 7 mitzvot that they're not allowed to break. And if they do, start murdering them, and Bezrat Hashem will be only peaceful and prosperity in this world, Bezrat Hashem. Then mitzvah can go in din yom or yomayim. So the Torah tells us what happens if a master hit his slave, and the slave wakes up after 2-3 days, if he killed him or not. We said yesterday that if Beit Din has strength to punish this kind of person with this crime, with the saif, they chop off his head, and they don't do it, this is the worst people in the world. They're causing destruction in this world, and on Sham Gadol Ad Meod. They live all their lives to be big tzaddikim, putting on tefillin all day, and learning Torah, Gemara, and Shas. They know all the Shas, all the poskim, and they have tens and thousands of talmidim. If one in their lifetime, this Beit Din, one time, as we say, once in 70 years, they have such a case of crime, a person kills his servant, and this Beit Din has the power to kill this guy, and they don't kill him, on Shog Gadol Ad Meod, their punishment is forget about it. All the Torah that they learn, all the Torah that they teach, what's it worth if you're not going to protect the civility and civilization? Make a lot of money without any suffering.